Welcome to Aunty K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello everyone, and welcome to Aunty K's Tarot. So, I'm doing an experiment. We will see how this turns out, and I think I am doing a parody reading. It's all going to be all right. Because every little thing's going to be all right. All right, so a lot has gone down. A lot of people are worried, and everybody needs to have a whole lot of hope about this guy who thinks he's the king of everything, thinks he knows the most about all the mostest of the money. But he's not the ruler of the whole entire world. That doesn't mean the whole entire world is going to be ruled by these few colonial people causing all these mass evacuations in search of their true loves, the gold. I think we all need a good oracle card here. We need a good oracle card here. There is spiritual hope if we all come together. There's some spiritual hope if we all come together in with the influencers and in a black square. If we all come together, the oracles, the spiritual people, with the influencers, all putting up some black squares. We can also look into those black squares and see some, what do those people dressed in black always talk about? Oh yes, some mutual aid. Some mutual aid will get us through. And I don't remember the rest of what they said about it, but some of that will get us through. It will get us through. You just have to listen to the spiritual oracles. You do. If they listen, if they're a little too dark for you, just find some with a good tan. That might work too. That might work too. Ease you into it, baby. Ease you into it. Yes. Because America is the leader of the free world. So if it goes down with the ship, we all want to know, are the rest of us going to go down with the ship? Or are we going to be okay? Because, oh, I need an oracle. It's all right. I'm in Canada. Some of you might want to come here too. We're polite though. We are the definition of polite, baby. We are the definition of polite up here. You gotta learn how to do that in a good way, in a real good way. Yeah, you might need to change it into some red squares. I don't know if we got some red squares. I mean, I see some red squares here, but the red square is a little too far south for me to see it as a red square. I see it as a sort of unknown square. We call it Latinos and Latinas and Latinx, depending on how far right our country is moving at the moment. Because, you know, we're so much better than the USA. Our guy's not quite that crazy. He's not quite that crazy. In fact, he's really intelligent. He's, yeah, he's pretty smooth talking. He doesn't sound like a lunatic. So, you know, he doesn't sound like a lunatic. He's got a lot more charm than that. A lot more indifference. So he's not quite as reactionary. They groomed him up in the last several years too, so he's not so awkward to listen to as he's coming up with these ideas that will bring us the promised day of that threat of all empires fall. But he's a smooth talker, and he knows we can get through it. We can get through it. We need something to lift this up. We're gonna have a good outcome. And at times we can really do a pretty good job at pretending that, you know, that the Indigenous struggles are over. They're over. They're over. And Polyev is really good at helping to dispel the myth of how hard it really is. And that we need an oracle on this. We need an oracle. We need an... when they bring you down with that narcissist word, when they bring you down with that narcissist word over this land back issue, just, you're gonna have to give us some love and gaslight. You're gonna have to give us some love and gaslight. But yeah, there's not quite as many of us, so that the ratio, it's sometimes a little much to deal with, and it can feel like a burden. But some of Polyev's people are really good at making you, they're really, we gave them choices. We gave them choices. We gave them choices. Never mind those. Never mind those. Sometimes it's, that was someone else's spirit sneaking through that land back card. And, some of those cards, they're just about the experience that we've been going through. We gave them choices, and some of them made the right choice and have bred out, and some of them made the wrong choice. But we had some solutions for that. We had some solutions for that. We did. So when they like to use these kinds of words like colonialism, but, you know, Pocahontas was made into a princess. She was made into a princess. Just love and gas like that. Love and gas, we're really good at it. We're polite up here. And some people like to say that, you know, colonialism across the world, it's a burden. They say it's a burden. It's not, so we just turn it over. We're not the reasons they're migrating. We're not. Just turn that over. We didn't want to have to send the parts for the weapons, and they didn't want to have to use the weapons to stop these angry words. These angry words, to stop these angry terroristic words. We didn't want to have to send those parts. But things are a lot more civilized up here than what they're going to be like under Trump. We can tell you that. We can tell you that. And I will oracle that up. It's the trauma bond. It's a trauma bond of having to leave Europe for more wealth. It's a trauma bond of being separated from Europe and having to conquer these ungrateful people to expand the wealth when our previous wealth system died. And when it died, we're like, if it's not worse and harder, they'll take it down too. And that trauma bond has never, that trauma has never left us. That trauma has never left us as colonizing people. They don't understand. And we don't want America to go down in a burning tower in case it brings the rest of us down too, even though maybe we're all a little bit jealous that we weren't the biggest. We thought if we stayed attached to Britain's tit forever, we would be the biggest. We did. We really did. that's, yeah. I didn't know we had to commit the biggest wars. The population isn't big enough up here. The Russians can have a big army in the north because they're a bit more robust than we are in Toronto. It's not a fair comparison. And capitalism makes it really expensive, especially when you underfund the social safety net that you tell Americans is like socialism, even when it's underfunded and not fully socialism. It's hard. It's hard, but the peacekeepers of the world, if you love and gaslight, we will find peace in the world. We will, if you love and gaslight. All right, so that was the roast iconic oracle duck and the tarot neo-colonial de la Americas. And I usually don't set out to be funny, just cheeky. So this was a big experiment for me, other than when I'm being funny with myself. So I hope that it I hope that humor is helpful in this way. See you later, folks.